We have reports of the House of Representatives on Thursday urging the federal government to adopt technology-driven measures like drones and CCTV cameras to protect power infrastructure nationwide. This call followed a motion led by Honorable Sani Umar Bala addressing the frequent vandalism of transmission lines, including recent damage of the 330 kV Shiroro-Kaduna transmission lines, causing blackouts in parts of Kaduna and Kano. The House noted 5 vandalism incidents reported by the Transmission Company of Nigeria since February, resulting in power outages that disrupt socio-economic activities. The lawmakers emphasized the need for a comprehensive security strategy involving the National Security Advisor, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and other agencies to protect these vital infrastructure. They also tasked the TCN with sensitizing local communities on the importance of safeguarding public infrastructure and urged the Ministry of Power to expedite repairs to the damaged lines. A joint committee was mandated to ensure swift compliance with these protective measures. And then we look back at the heading talking about the reps decrying vandalization of power infrastructure. This, I don't want to say, is something that happens almost every day in different parts of the nation. But I'd like to bring in Kenneth Izzy on this one first. Kenneth, your thoughts, please.
Okay, it's funny though, vandalization, the people that have the powers to protect this are crying, and for the first sentence what he said, they're trying to get drones and technology to monitor these things. Well, it's good that I think technology now, they're thinking of how to use scientific methods to ensure that they protect these things. But they really need to make the citizens understand that these things that they are destroying are actually theirs. That is the thing I keep saying. We should ensure that we carry the people along. This government should be a people-based government. When people feel thinking, I need to make sure that these things are safe. In this century, we cannot be thinking of vandalization of public property now. I think it's way back civilization. Civilized nation, civilized people as their properties because they know that this is our thing. These things are made there for our own companies. These things are made there to help us live a better life. These are there to have social amenities, you have a good living, you have a good life, you comfortable, you can go there several ways. But just like you said, putting drones and CCTV camera, if you come to any now, once you are entering anything, we have CCTV camera monitoring you. Once you come, you know that okay, you're in town, you're into everything. So they should have CCTV cameras placed in strategic locations, right? They should have drones. They should have a rapid response team. Then the citizens need to have the emergency lines of this rapid response squad, right? So whatever vandalization is going on, whatever they notice, then the citizens also need to be aware and to be assured that yes, once they call on these government operatives, these security operatives, that they are looking to respond and respond quickly. So it should be more people-based. I could see why the reps should be trying things, or it's not something that is what they are better things they should think about.
You say you don't see why reps are doing what? Discussing this topic?
Yes.
But this is don't you think this is important?
I didn't get you.
Don't you think this is important? It affects the people, and these are people that are representing the people. So if they don't talk about the issues that affect the people, then what else would they talk about?
They should be talking about solutions right now. They should be talking
That's
about
what they have recommended, the drones and the CCTV cameras. Do you think they are viable? You mentioned that when you come in, please hold on. You mentioned that when you come into Enugu, you have CCTV cameras in strategic places to monitor people. Did I get that right? That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
So you have CCTV cameras on the roads in Enugu?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So this is the measure.
How viable is this recommendation by the House of Reps? The CCTV cameras in all of these infrastructures where they are located, and then the drones to monitor with our system here. How viable do you think that would be?
It's very viable. It's feasible. It can happen. When what growing up, we have this. Is it big brother is watching you, or the title. So that fear that stop God is watching you.
All right, Kenneth.
Okay, the recommendation for me is commendable. You know, I always say it's better late than never, even if it's somehow I see it to be coming very late, and shocking too that up till now the TCN Nigerian transmission company and all the allied agencies that has to do with power does not have a system that monitors what goes on along a major transmission line. Is a minus for us as a nation. Is a minus for us. However, you know, at times I do tell people that there are some problems that I refer to as problems of upliftment. There are some challenges you have, wake-up challenges. The challenges will quicken you, you know, will revive you, and then you begin to do what ordinarily you wouldn't have done. I think that's the case here. That's the case here. For the past how many years, technology has been advancing, and on our power sector, we do not have drones, we do not have CCTV.
Is this viable?
Yeah.
Let's look at that system.
Now the viability is, let me use the word, it can be viable if the government decides to do what is needed. You see, one thing with our system is at times we just do the things that we see developed countries or other people do without, you know, digging deep, understanding our terrain, our environment, our society, and then do something that is compatible, that our people can understand and manage. If you put a system that is too sophisticated, that the level of those to manage it have not gotten to that point, and they lack the requisite training or skills, the system will collapse. But once you do it, having those that will man it trained, and then get something that they also understand, have their own idea. I believe we have engineers, we have technicians in that particular sector. You work with them. You know, this system of top-bottom approach in carrying out some developmental projects and things that benefit the masses is a major problem in our country. Just like Ken talked about, if the people are being sensitized, if the people are aware, are part of the project ab initio, it's difficult. Even a madman will not want to spoil his own house, because the madman knows, except that madness has gotten to another level.
But look at the people that are doing these things now. It's not the residents, or it's these boys.
Yeah.
And some of them are not educated. They can't even read, even if you have inscriptions on the wall.
Sure, I will come to that. That's part of it. But believe me, it will be quite difficult for some of these boys to also penetrate without. I've had that experience before in my area, and one of the guys were caught. You know, by the time investigation started going on, you discover that a very prominent personality, though not from that area, but reside within that particular area, was one that, you know, brought in those boys that were behaving like mad people, and they vandalized a whole community transformer. And the community was in blackout for like 2 years or thereabout. You know, so that's the point. It has to do with a people. If the people are well sensitized, if the people are well informed that this thing is your own, if government makes the people understand that this project we are doing here is not government project, it's not government money, it's your money, we are using your money to do it. And once the people buys into that, or the people are the ones that initiated it, and then the government now sees them to implement it, even a child passing and sees something that is not supposed to be happening around that area will raise alarm. But majority of the things, the government properties, or the public property, not the government property, now public properties, people, majority of Nigerians sees it as government thing, those in power, without realizing that it is ours. Now, coming to the area of these hoodlums, we cannot dismiss the fact that in some areas, some of these boys just go about, you know, vandalizing some of this. Now, when you look at it from that perspective, you also see the issue of that lacuna in terms of power supply. If we have regular power supply like we should have, how will a normal person, want to attempt? Currently, as I'm talking to you now, the transformer I use has been vandalized. I don't also have light in my area. They went there. We had light that particular day till around 4:30 a.m. in the early hours of the morning, and then before it was done, we discovered light came. We discovered that there was no light. We got to the place. There is what they call feeder pillar. The whole feeder pillar has been. So now, if you critically look at, analyze what has transpired, it's difficult to also, separate those that supplies the power, those that work as the power station. You begin to think, how come is within that 2 hours or 1 hour 30 minutes that the power was disrupted, that the transformer was vandalized? So the thing is a very serious issue, and that is why one of the way to solve this problem is constant power supply. People should find it difficult. People should not be able to predict when light will come and when the light goes. Like in my area, you know that once it's so and so time, we're going to have light. And from so and so time, there will be light. So somebody can get in there and do anything. So it also bounces back to the government. Those that are supposed to ensure that these facilities are being utilized are in a very good working condition 24/7. Right. So once that is done, the issue of vandalism or vandalization of some of these of our power lines and systems will be reduced. Now going back to the reps, talking about vandalization of power structure is a serious thing, and the government should take it very seriously. We are talking about security not being enough. That takes us back to the issue of security again, because we need people. We need people that that are supposed to monitor these lines, these major power lines. There should be a security patrol team responsible for some of those areas that they have been recording this high level of vandalism or vandalization. Now the government should ensure that there are patrol teams that are monitoring those lines in addition to what they have already proposed to do. But there is one that we have, and that is security personnel. So security personnel should be attached to those areas. I know what I passed through in my office too, when we heard there was a publication that the national grid was done and all of that. For that 2 or 3 days, we saw hell going by the current price of petrol. All of these things are contributing to the hardship and difficulty in survival rates that Nigerians are experiencing. So there should be security personnel attached to those lines 24/7.